Hi everyone, this is Red with RDL-WU-08-29-2010.mp4 and this is my second video. And the first one, I kind of went over, I guess you would call it a short-term bullish move, but it's still a very bearish move into late September. So even though it seemed like I was being bullish, that's only on the short term, and that's not necessarily, what I'm thinking on more of a long-term basis. I do think we're going to go down and hit that Dow 8300 print. It's just that I think that we might rise up into the Legatus pilgrimage. So I know a lot of folks here are looking at this move up right here on the 60-minute chart, and most people were thinking that we're going to go up here maybe 1070 in reverse and go back down, which could very well happen, but I don't think that that's going to be our next move down into a wave 5 to complete this move down here, basically in a 5-wave move, as as he has it labeled here, being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the 5 is done, and I think this whole move is a wave 1. I think we're going up in a wave 2 here. He's got this as a minute wave. I guess that's how you pronounce it, or minuet, I think is how the chart pattern guy pronounces it. But regardless, I think this could be relabeled, and you could probably get 5 waves out of this and call this whole move down right here the wave 1 minuet, and a wave 2 going up here to this fake print of 111.17. If it's about 1100, I guess it's a little bit higher than this right here. If you remember back in some prior videos, I kept thinking on this move here that day that we would go up and hit that 111.17. We never did. We fell off a cliff. So I still think it's going to be hit. I think that the signal to tell us what that print was all about was where the move would go on the wave 2 retracement back up. I think that's what they're trying to tell us, and that would certainly shake out a lot of bears. Now, as for Monday, from the looks of this and the looks of how overbought we are, I wouldn't doubt if we went down in the morning and then turned around and retraced it back up, maybe putting in a lower high than what we got right here. But in the end, I think Monday's just going to be end up flat day, like I said, a spinning top, or really not going anywhere, slightly up or slightly down. And so regardless if this goes down like this, this would roll over a little, but I think it's going to continue pushing up. It might do one of these numbers, roll down, and continue pushing up, and get up here above the 0 mark and go high in maybe up to this positive 5 level, something similar to this or this. And you got to look at that, because the 60-minute chart is now getting support from the daily. This hook on the daily is telling me that the daily is no longer putting downward pressure. Now, is it putting upward pressure on the market? Yeah, probably slightly upward pressure. But for the most part, the daily is just no longer pushing down on the market, which would allow the 60-minute chart to do what it would naturally do anyway, which is go up into positive territory above the 0 line. Not do one of these numbers here, just go up and roll back over it, and fall back. At that time, the daily was still pushing down pretty heavily, and it was just preventing the 60 from getting going, basically, and getting the strength it needed to get up there and to well above the 0 mark. So you got to compare all these charts together is the most important thing to try to figure this puzzle out. Then you got to throw in the manipulation factor in the market. So while last Friday, when we were looking at this, we did know we were in a falling wedge, and it did roll over, and I did expect it to go down one more time before it busted out of this falling wedge. And I think it would have done that had it not been an options expiration week on the weeklies. This is not a normal options expiration, but nonetheless, they needed to pin this market where they pinned it so that they could take all the put holders' money. If it had been a normal Friday, we would have probably went down here, tagged this line here, and then went back up on the following Monday and broke out or something of this falling wedge, because we should have, at all costs, we should have went down right here. It's curled over. This curled over. The daily at that time was still going down. When we go back here and look at this daily, it was still going down. It only recently flattened out. See, that's not really a hook back up. That's just flat. Okay, so that's not really giving strength yet to the bulls. It's just no longer putting downward pressure. And as you can see, it put in a higher low here on this histogram tower. Same thing here. And as you can see, we are pointing up here. So it is, again, very possible that we end up chopping our way and working our way up to that 1100. I don't want to rule that out. And again, that would put us up here and put in some positive towers before this thing finally rolls over into the Legatus pilgrimage. I think that when this thing finally rolls over, it's going to be a wave 3 of a wave 3 of a wave 3 or whatever, any way you count it. It's going to be a nasty, nasty wave. And I think that that's what's going on. You know, as I said in my post, George Soros, the billionaire who is, you know, an Illuminati member as well as a part of the Bilderberg group, he's one of the crooks, yes, and so is Warren Buffett and David Rockefeller and many of the other ones. They're all crooks. They're out there to steal your money. They are not that great of traders that they made their money, their billions, by being great traders. No, they're great manipulators. They find out inside information and they make things happen to benefit them, and that's why they don't lose in the stock market. Rarely do these people ever lose. You can't be that good. Don't be naive into thinking that these people are just great traders. They're not. They manipulated it, controlled it, and made it happen. And put companies out of business like Lehman Brothers. That was Goldman Sachs putting them out of business, short selling the thing. So anyway, he sold here, back here in April and June, according to his thing, April. And so April through June, he was selling and unloading. So it takes time for him to unload that much stock when you're a billionaire. But he's basically, you know, waiting for this thing to crash, and he's going to go up there and buy up the market again at deeply discounted prices, a scavenger, you know. So it's wrong because they plan it and they manipulate it, make it happen. So spread the word, you know, pass that stuff around, let people know how, you know, that the mass media that they're watching is crooked, and they're not telling them the whole truth about what's really going on in this marketplace. So, but that doesn't mean that they don't follow some rules with the market. They do. It's just that when it comes to an inflection point where the market could go either way, you know, that's when they step in and turn on the PPT and pump more money in. Now, we talked about the Legatus pilgrimage and what would happen during that time period. And Reinhardt has the idea on his site on enterprisecorruption.com that we'll probably get more stimulus. I think that's already baked in at this point. I think that Bernanke coming out Friday and saying that we'll do whatever it takes, basically we'll print as much money as we need to print, I think that's already in there. I think that's what's going to cause this rally up to 1100, which, if you notice, is right about where these lines are hitting right now. They're at 1103 area right now, but of course they'll be going down in the next week or so. But if we have an up week or even a second up week, I don't think we might have just one up week and that's it. And then I think we're going to roll over But or we might have 2 up weeks. But I think we're going to that 111.17 print. I really do. And then I think we're going to roll over. So again, you know, you look at this weekly, it could kind of curl back up, or you can just go sideways a little bit, do one of these numbers here, and then just, you know, roll over and fall off a cliff towards mid-September to late September, whenever this September 9th through 20th. We don't know when it's going to happen during that time. We have to just look at the charts, but pretty much you got to think that these guys are selling and getting out of the market and going to, you know, funnel their money through the Vatican secret bank, and so that they don't have to pay no taxes, so they can tax us to death. And yeah, you should be ticked off about it. I am. I'm always ticked off about these people. The more I find out about them, the more I want to publicly hang them. You know, convict them and hang them. Put them in a trial of the real people, the people that's been out of work, that are now laid off, middle-class Americans that are getting the shaft stuck to them. I mean, it's really, really bad, because they want to make billions of dollars and complain that they got to pay $2, that people are living off of $2 a day on in other parts of the world. I'd seen somewhere a statistic said 40% of the population of the planet Earth live on less than $2 a day. Well, they'd love to bring that down to $1 a day. So, you know, these people are evil. That's all there is to it, and it's just robbery. So you have to learn to play this game in the stock market, because they created it to steal your money. That's the only reason that this stock market is even here. It's only there to steal the middle-class Americans' money. That's all it's about. It's a game they created, because they don't need it. You know, if they own companies, and they're already getting income from selling goods and services or whatever it is, you know, they're capped at that. So, you know, you got to think of it from their point of view. They're thinking, well, how else can we get money out of people if we can't sell goods and services to them and make more money? We're already kind of tapped out on that, or capped out. Well, why don't we create some gambling system, and we'll call it the stock market, and we'll rig it, and then we'll get people to invest in these companies. It's just such a big game. You just got to open your eyes up and look at this. It really is. Anyway, looking back at this, as you can see, we're losing steam here. We're getting ready to go below the zero here on the rock, and you know, you can see back here, same thing where we did it. Boom, we fell off a cliff. It's coming. You know, we're gonna. You know, this thing isn't going to rally beyond that 111.17 print. I don't believe. But I do think that that's possibly, very possibly, what's going to happen. May do it in 1 week, all next week, and we got light volume next week, folks. So again, you know, Monday very well could be a down day, and then back up, kind of a pause day, and then they're going to chop their way up. But I do really think that they're going to get up here to that 111.17 print, and then we're going to roll over in some really serious major wave threes. Any way you count it, it would certainly be a wave 3 here on the weeklies, because this clearly already has us in a wave 3 on the weekly. We're starting a wave 3, but inside that wave 3 would be 5 waves. So maybe we just ended wave 1 here, and we're getting ready to do a wave 2 back up, and then after that you're going to have a wave 3 on the weekly, inside of a wave 3 on the weekly, inside of a larger primary wave 3 on the weekly. So and then of course all that would be inside of a, you know, wave 1. So the wave 3 on the weekly would obviously be all the way down here off the scale, but in that you'd have like a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, etc. And inside this wave 1 we're going to have a wave 1, a 2, a 3, and inside this wave 3 we're going to have a 1, a 2, a 3. So you see, we're getting a lot of wave 3s getting ready to come up and just totally annihilate the market, and it's really going to be ugly. But I just want to kind of give you a short-term view that you folks didn't think I was bullish, just short-term bullish. But I think it'll probably go down a little Monday and come back up, and then chop around the rest of the week. But we're going to end up here at this 1100, I do believe. So anyway, that's about it for this video. Can't think of anything else to say. I guess I will see you guys on Monday. Good luck, everyone.